Yo, peep these patch notes.
It happened in the FTC documents. Look, this is a big leak. A lot of things leaked during the FTC.
Huge leak.
Yeah,
Huge.
a lot of stuff leaked during the FTC side that was not as much on the Xbox side, but it was more with Sony and their plans and stuff like that. And now it's Microsoft's turn to have all of this kind of stuff.
This whole FTC shit just dug up everything.
Oh yeah,
that's why I was saying, like, I'm getting really sick of it, dude. It's like there for a while it was like a daily basis that something else popped up, and I'm just like, really? Like, I thought that we got done. I thought we were done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I mean, it's new consoles, new controllers, remakes of games. What Fallout is like Fallout 3 or something like that. I'm
excited about. Happy to hear that leak.
Oblivion is getting like remasters.
Yeah.
This
Nintendo Oblivion, but yeah. Anyways,
Nintendo was on the fucking threshold of or scopes of Phil Spencer to buy. I mean, there's
a lot of wild shit. Yeah, I mean,
the Nintendo thing was a bit sketchy to me. Like that, the potential of Xbox attempting to purchase Nintendo was.
I mean,
it was weird, man.
It makes sense.
Is it though? Is it really? So here's my thing. Because think about what we have said on this show multiple times about the future of Nintendo, and that I'm
just waiting for Bill's catchphrase again, though.
I know the consolidation of entertainment, right? But we have said for a long time that we see Nintendo going down a possible route of being a publisher, right, and not being a console maker, right?
Right.
So I think in that light, I think Phil Spencer was kind of only seeing the future of saying, "Hey, why not become part of us?" Like,
not only that as well though, but we've also talked about the fact that like what Xbox needs the most is like a foothold in the Asian and Eastern markets, right?
Yeah.
What better way to do that than get the biggest console provider and game provider for the Eastern and Asian markets?
Well, not just the Asian market, but the world market. I mean, Wii's and
world market as well, for sure. But they're huge. What I'm saying is like they're huge in Eastern countries. Like it's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
this I think they've pretty well killed like these leaks. Kind of, if they didn't kill, they definitely hindered the possibilities of them working with Nintendo in that capacity in the future. Some of the rhetoric that Phil was using, like he brought up like hostile takeovers and stuff like that in his emails talking about the Nintendo acquisition. Like it was a little bit on the sketchy side, man.
How old were those emails? Those were from
those were from
2022.
2020,
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Look, so, I'm not gonna.
No. To be fair to Phil Spencer, while he said that, I think the wording he used was the only way this acquisition is going to go through is with outside pressure. And while I don't condone hostile takeovers, if something were to happen, we would be opportunistic on top of it. But until then, we're playing the long game.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Sony would do the exact same thing. This isn't a Xbox or Phil Spencer unique thing, but it's still a little bit sketchy to like see.
Well, you're just seeing business at that point. Like that is just something that a business person would say. Like they're going to go like, yeah, if there's some form of hostile takeover that starts, why would we not try to do something about that?
Yeah,
that's basically all he's saying.
I actually think that it's probably the most like calm way.
That's the most polite way to fucking put it. Yeah,
saying, because I have seen those emails come through. I'm just making sure no one's fucking emailing me currently. Because I just got like 7 alerts on my phone. I was like, you fuckers.
It's chicken boy.
But I've seen those emails that come through that go, that are extremely cutthroat and do not give a shit. And they are just like, we are going to take this no matter what. I don't care what, they say, press says, anything like that. And again, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to bail Phil out and whatever else, like, but I don't know if it necessarily needs bailing out. I just think it is a situation where the outside world is seeing what, like Enigma said, what is business, and
that's a business model. Yeah, unfortunately,
structuring
a lot of the times, if people have never seen like how hostile people like true businessmen can be, exactly what Sin just said. Like that's that's lukewarm water right there, man. Like that's
Yeah.
like that's about as nice as a CEO can be about talking about hostile takeovers. The biggest thing that I had a concern about and that I was kind of laughing about is just like, well, it's another leak from Xbox and the FTC, which already I was just like, this is ridiculous. It's when is it going to stop? This is like this is stupid, right? The other thing that I was like, I was laughing about is just the amount of nothing burgers that I saw in a lot of those emails that people were condoning or like condemning him for. I'm like, there was one that was literally like, hey, we're doing really well for this year, you know, hoping to see a projection of a better year coming into 24 or 2020 or whatever the year was. And people were like, I knew it. They're doing poorly. They're doing bad. Xbox is failing, you know?
I mean, there was like, a few things that were admittances of failings on there's two that I can think of right off the top that are just, you can't argue that it is anything but bad. One was the lack of a mainstream release since Halo Infinite when they were discussing Starfield being delayed. That's obviously bad. They were really banking on Redfall in that email being the next thing. And we know how that
we talked about
out.
that. We've talked about it in the past already.
Yeah. And then the other one was the fact that 2022 showed zero increase in Game Pass subscriptions, even with the announcement of the Blizzard Activision acquisition. I think those are the two biggest things that painted like even a little bit of negative light. Those two things I don't care personally that much. It is what it is, and a lot has changed in that. The biggest thing that worries me about Xbox and what came out with all of this is how they are looking at gaming in general and how distribution of games on their platforms is going to be, because it's leaning more and more towards them doing completely away with physical and going a pure digital or subscription based route.
Well, and the one thing I can say to that is like, and I get where you're coming from. We've had a conversation about this in the past, and we've had a conversations privately in the podcast chat, right? Like, I get where people are coming from with wanting to keep digital and physical copies of games, right? But on the other hand, I think unfortunately we're too far into it. We're too far down that rabbit hole. Like, I don't think there's any way to get past that. In the long run.
There is, and that's people not accepting the inevitable, I guess. But
I just don't think there's enough to.
Yeah, it's
for people
there's a lot of people
not to accept the inevitable would be for people not to buy any video games at that point,
like digital.
True. So, I mean, if no other option is given, you're not going to tell a gamer not to game, and I get that, and it fucking.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you. It pisses me off that we have $70 video games that are digital only. And that's pissed me off from even from when video games went from being $49.99 to $69.99.
A big cost of video games was the physical distribution and cost to create.
When digital first came out, they were actually $10 cheaper than physical copies. And then the industry realized that they don't have to do that anymore, so they just decided to mark everything the same price.
100%, man. Yeah.
But with these leaks, new Xbox like mid-generation consoles coming out, discless only, adorably discless, as they noted in the thing. Things could change. Phil Spencer said that he's going to be getting
that's what I was going to ask. So
thing together to showcase what he says is the real future of Xbox.
So he did come out and respond to this, because I was going to ask what exactly did he?
I'm interested to see what he says.
Right. He's probably got a whole team working on
during the time the real future of Xbox. That was exactly what they were wanting. 3 years is a lot of time in technology. A lot of things could change. I'm hoping that they consider going the route that PlayStation is going with their mid-system console, having a modular disk drive. That would be cool.
This is Phil's full reply. He released a PR announcement. He says, "Team, today several documents submitted in the court proceedings related to our proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard were unintentionally disclosed. I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved. I also know we all take the confidentiality of our plans and our partners' information very seriously. This leak obviously is not us living up to that expectation. We will learn from what happened and be better going forward. We all put in incredible amounts of passion and energy into our work, and this is never how we want that hard work to be shared with the community. That said, there's so much more to be excited about, and when we're ready, we'll share the real plans with our players. In closing, I appreciate all the work that that you pour into the team of Xbox to surprise and delight our players. In the days and weeks ahead, let us stay focused on what we can control, continuing to do amazing and successful things with Starfield, the upcoming launch of incredible and accessible Forza Motorsports, and continue to building game services, devices, and devices that millions of players can enjoy. So it's honestly his reply was kind of a nothing burger as well. It's just him basically going, "Hey, we fucked up.
Yeah,
probably shouldn't have done that. Sorry."
He's at least acknowledging it, and of course he's got to put together a team and buy some time, and you know.
Yeah, but
it also
pretty much
it also did include the leak for the roadmap for Bethesda's 5-year plan. So
yeah.
I also though
a lot of games there.
I will say that I don't think, like, at a certain point, Xbox has got to pull their head out of their ass. They can't keep this is right after the whole Redfall debacle and him coming out and saying we fucked up and we'll do better. This is now coming out again saying we fucked up, we'll do better. Let me tell you something. As someone that raises, has 2 kids, when I hear we fucked up, I'll do better, you get once, and then the next time it's not a. It's now a, what the fuck are you doing? You're whatever. So
I'll also point out that, like, when it comes down to like Redfall, that was necessarily pretty much a negative thing on their part. Like, this is just an oopsie fuck up on their part, and it's probably something that somebody got terminated for.
Do we even
100%
know how this got leaked? Was it internally?
We know
internally,
who. Yeah, we know the judge came out recently and basically stated, hey, because Xbox was trying to blame the FTC for it, and the FTC judge was like, hey, we gave you guys a secure link and told you guys basically whatever you fucking put in there, don't put anything sensitive because it's going to be available to the public.
Right.
Like,
it was Microsoft's own doing, for this,
and they put a lot of shit in there.
I think that overall, like, to answer all the questions, plus we have to move on because we are already over time and we still have like 2 topics technically to talk about, and quick hits. Look, the inevitability is that physical is going to go away. Like, it just is. Like, they've tried doing this. They've tried doing this for a long time. Like, they tried doing this with the Xbox One. Am I okay with? I don't buy physical games for the preservation of games.
Because let's be real here, Xbox has been pretty anti-physical and anti-consumer.
They've been doing it for like I said, Xbox
very
One.
Long time. Yeah, when they tried to do the DRM console where it has to connect to internet.
Right.
And their backwards compatibility program, which was something that people were trying to praise them for, because you could take a game from any Xbox generation, put it in your console, and be able to play it, was false backwards compatibility because you still had to download that game from a server. It didn't read it off the disc. It downloaded an emulated file. So it was fake backwards compatibility.
Right.
And they're doing away with that as well.
So that's the part that I think, like, I will say, I don't care how the backwards compatibility is doable, as long as it is a backwards compatibility capability. And but
it's not true backwards compatibility.
If
the servers get shut down like they're doing, then that disc is just a disc if you don't have the hardware.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that them shutting it down is the travesty of that, because I think that if we are going to move to a digital only world, then somebody needs to answer, how do we preserve this content for our kids and next generations to be able to experience it without having to buy a fucking remaster or a rework or whatever else, right? Like, there needs to be something that states, like, hey, like, this, like, the what is the name of the museum or whatever that's there, that is like literally transitioning all of this physical content into digital content. They're being sued. Like, they're being sued by Nintendo to stop. Like, that to me is like where the greed takes over, because what happens is they're like, oh, well, I can just remaster this game and recharge it, or I'm just going to take the exact same game, emulate it, and put it on a platform and resell it back to you, regurgitate it over and over and over again. So I mean, I'm just trying to look at, like, the best of both worlds, and how do we accomplish the lesser of two evils. And the reality of it is that physical is not going to be there. So
I was going to say NFTs. Yeah.
NFTs are how technology, you make digital, baby. Is how you make digital ownership real ownership.
Blockchain technology.
As wild as that is to say, it's the only route I can see it actually going where digital is going to still.
Well, honestly, and like that's the, and I'm sure that you're probably going to say the same thing. That's what NFTs were really.
That's what NFTs are, right? In the long run, yeah. If you remember the conversation piece, I think that we had on this show where we talked very much about NFTs, and I was like a very big proponent of NFTs, is because of that. Like NFTs already exist in the world that we live in. We said it. Steam. Go look at Steam. That is all of your inventory is a fucking NFT, as in theory, right? But like it is. That's it. That's exactly what it is. So yes, that is the movement forward. We just have to get NFTs away from these fuckboys.
And rip to NFTs that have
that's their
come
own
out as totally
fault.
Plummeted.
That's their own fault.
No shocker.
I am excited about some of the games that got leaked in the 5-year roadmap. I am a little
Oblivion remaster, bro.
I'm a little like, as much as I'm excited about an Oblivion remaster, I'm starting to get tired.
I don't want remasters and remakes. I'm done with remasters. I want new content.
Oblivion's one of the exceptions that I am like actually hyped for, and Resident Evil 4 was another one of the exceptions I was hyped for.
I'm just looking forward to seeing like Oblivion and a lot of those old school worlds that like Morrowind in Unreal 5. That would be amazing.
Fallout 3 for me, because I never truly experienced Fallout 3. I never played through it all.
Fallout 3 is great, but
I want
future of physical is weird, and I.
Well, you say you want new IPs, but when they give you a new IP, you say it's shit. What do you want, bro?
Yeah.
When did I say a new IP was shit? What was?
I'm just joking. Starfield. So.
I wouldn't say I never said Starfield was shit.
I know. I was joking. Fuck. Move on, bro.
Thanks all for tuning in to the Patch Notes. And if you enjoyed and want to see more, you can catch us live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, or catch us after the fact at anchor.fm/prepatch podcast. See you next time.